Sweet. I'm very excited. My guest today is Robert Upshaw. How you been, man?
Oh man, I've been great, man. I've been really blessed, especially through a tough year, man. COVID is it's been very interesting, man. But I've been blessed with good health, my family with good health, and just balling, man. Just on this journey of life.
Man, it's been a long journey, and I was looking at pictures of us as we sat down at the crossover in 2018, and that was my first day doing interviews there. So that was a nervous day for me. I was looking at pictures of me trying to do the UW thing with you. I still can't do that. But tell me, like, from then until now, what has life been like for you? Like, when you think back to that day, has life changed a lot? Have you changed a lot?
Definitely, man. Just basketball itself has, I've, one would say, how long ago was that?
That was 2018?
2018.
Summer 2018?
So summer 2018, I had just won a championship in a semi-pro playing with the Yakima Sun Kings. It was kind of something to kind of keep me, going and kind of steady for the next job after I had came home from Lebanon. So I just won the semi-pro championship, and at that time, I was looking to take the next step in my career and get something in Europe. So I ended up playing in Poland. I played really well there. We played in Euro Cup as well. Had a really good showing there, and then after Poland, I went to Turkey, and I was in Turkey for about 6 or 7 months before I left and went to Bahrain, and COVID happened. So I was in Bahrain for about three weeks to a month, and then they sent everybody home. So I've been some very interesting places, man. And now I just came back home from Spain. So I've been to a few countries.
Man, yeah, you've experienced a lot. Even like outside of the basketball, you could write a book on that, the things you've seen. And all the people I talk to that get to play overseas, like it rounds them in a certain way. I'm stealing that from Alvin Snow, but like it evolves you in a different way than, I haven't been outside of the country other than Canada. So as much as I try and much as I talk to people, like you've lived, I don't know if you've been alone or like your family's been with you most of the time, but you've been out there, really chasing a dream, like putting your nose to the grind and doing it. And that's not easy.
Yeah. It's kind of just growing up and kind of just taking control of things for yourself. My first year overseas was kind of like, my first year as a pro was pretty very in the gutter. I wasn't on the right track. I wasn't doing the right things. And, I had been on my own before, being in college and, being in my first year pro. So I kind of, going overseas was ready for it, but it was a complete the first country I actually played pro in was Estonia, which is right below Russia. And it was a culture shock. I'm in this country, nothing is in English. All the foods look different. Everything looks different. I'm just, yo, what am I supposed to do? So I'm eating I'm going to McDonald's every day because I know they got one thing everywhere, is the Big Mac at the McDonald's. So, until I got adapted, man, it took me 3-4 months to really get adapted to be like, hey, it's not that much different. And, I got used to the culture. I embraced the culture. I embraced the people around there, people who didn't speak my language. Going back to what I said, just, after, it took me about 3 to 4 months to really adapt and really figure out this is not much, not different than what we have back home in the States. So, just in that, man, just getting used to it and being by myself, man, it's a lot, it's a lot, responsibility to be by yourself. You got to know where you're going, know what you're doing. You got to get from place to place. You got to, usually when you have your partner or when you have your family or anyone there besides yourself, you got help, but when you're there by yourself, you just got to do everything on your own, learn your way around. So it's very tricky, man. It's very tricky, but it's definitely been one great experience.
I'm sure there's different ways you've evolved throughout and seeing that and being on your own. What was your reaction? Like you say, you had your, at the start of your pro career, like what was your reaction at the time to, going overseas and that idea being floated to you for the first time to knowing what you know now and the success that you've had and the experiences that you've had? Like, because you can react to, like, me in my life, troubles in my life, I could react one or two different ways. And I look back and it's different than I would react now, if that makes sense.
No, definitely. I think when my first time overseas, I think that I was like a deer in headlights, like I didn't know what I was doing, where I was going. The first day of practice, was so new for me, didn't speak the language, didn't know who was who. And, being there, and I had a different attitude about it. I carried myself a different way as far as my attitude, as far as, the things I would say. And I now know that those things weren't correct. Those things weren't things how I would carry myself as a pro now. And, as far as, my attitude, saying things or, having certain reactions, and I learned from that because, those are flags. Those are like red flags on you, when you're over there. Say you're with this team and this team over here, and, you have some, confrontations or you have some things said about you, and then you go to the next team and it's said about you, and then you have, a confrontation. It's just like, oh man, this guy's, this guy's that. And it creates a lot of things for you. It creates hardships for you in your career, because when you go to the next place, it's going to be, a lot of chitter chat about, oh, well, he can't do this, he can't do that, or he's this way, he's not a good guy. And so I just, through my career in this 5 going on 6 years, I've just tried to carry myself as a pro as best as possible. I've had my ups and I've had my downs, and my downs for the first time in my life have been lower than, lower than they are, usual. What I mean by that is just that I've had a lot more success in my career overseas as a pro, in my basketball career in total. And it's been an experience, right now. I was cut from my team in Spain. We got off to a bad start, and I just wasn't the right fit, for the team and for the situation that they wanted. So, I was cut from the team. It was a great experience. I learned from it. It's so much I learned from it. Going back to what you said about the things about I'm still learning. In year 6, for year 5, going on 6, I got cut. So, I'm back in the drawing board. I'm back training. I'm back working out. I'm seeing what, my agent has in store for me. And I keep going, keep it pushing.
Mm-hmm. You talk about being professional, and that's the thing that I feel like sometimes it's only learned through mistakes, like really learned. That's how I learn, is doing things. And when you do things and you put yourself out there, sometimes it's not always right. Did you have someone mentoring you, or what finally like clicked in your mind to really like keep it professional and be this, leveled up version of Robert Upshaw?
I had a lot of people to help me with that. One person that I had that I could call on is somebody that that you're very familiar with, who was my representation at the time, was Alvin Snow. I had, other basketball players, Abdul Gaddy, Isaiah Thomas, Jamal Crawford. I had all of those guys. I had different views, different perspective. I had different guys to talk to about how they carried themselves. They all carried themselves different professionally. They all are, just hardworking, humble, God-fearing guys. So it's just, to have those different perspectives and to learn, because before, I was a knucklehead. that's there's that, and then there's now. And before I was knucklehead, I wouldn't ask for help. I didn't care. Like, it was my way or the highway. And now I have so many tools and so many resources that I just keep learning, like today I'm still learning, I haven't done everything that I needed to do to be to where I know I need to be and where others see me and what potential I have. But, I'm just taking it baby steps one day at a time, because it's been crazy. It's a crazy life. It's a crazy time. And, it's just got to focus on doing the right things, man. That's right. It. Just keep humble, man. Keep my head down.
Yeah. And I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses or anything, but like, your business is in the spotlight. Like, even as a young man, any missteps that you had were written about, and it wasn't like, somebody outside of the spotlight doing things, being a kid, growing up, evolving, becoming a man. So what have you learned, or how does it change you? Or like, what thoughts do you have about having your business in the news, especially as a college player or somebody younger who's not the evolved person they're going to be?
And for me, it was honestly embarrassing, but it was also like, I was like a rebel, man. Like, I rebelled so much against authority in college. College is where I had, my experience. I never had any hiccups in high school. I never was the person I was in college. So when I got to college and basketball moved to the next stage of professionalism, of the next stage of competition, it was a bigger market. So, I didn't handle business, like, I didn't do what I was supposed to do at that time. So, man, I suffered. I suffered the consequences for it. And it's just, at that time, it was so embarrassing, but I just, like, I had to learn to make those mistakes. And whether sometimes there were 2-3 times, it was just that I was just going with the flow of life. I was just doing what I felt was best for me. And that was the complete wrong thing, because I had so much help. I had, friends, family, coaches, peers around me that, I just wanted to rebel. I wanted to be me. I wanted to be free. And in doing so, I ruined a chance for me to be somewhere that I'm not. And so, I don't regret anything. Let's get that clear right now. I don't regret anything that I've been through. It sucks. I've lost a lot of money. I've lost a lot of opportunities, but I still gained. I still have so much to be happy for. I still have so much to be positive about and to go forward with my life. I made a few mistakes in the past, and I'm just still learning, man. Like, I'm still going on with life. I'm still doing the best I can every day.
Right. And that makes me think, like, without those situations you have to deal with, are you that same person? Like, are you evolved if you don't have those missteps and you just, you go on and you're, not to say live like a privileged life by any means, but you don't have to face, I don't want to say failure, but you have to, like, even as a basketball players, you face that all the time, even if you're the greatest. But like, you had to get humbled, I guess. And that, like, would you be the same person?
That happens real fast. Like, you can have everything as possible, everything you've ever dreamed of. You can have basketball, money, wife, car, house, and then, like, in the instance of a second, it could be gone. Like, I've been humbled plenty of times, just in situations of basketball, financial situations, life, relationship. I've literally just been humbled, to the point to where I really had to take a step back and look in the mirror and, really, really look and say, like things got to change. Something has to be different. Cause, man, like, it's like having the wind knocked out of you when in certain situations. It's like, I go back to say like about the embarrassment. It's almost like, and another thing is, to me, it's just like, I know I'm a student athlete. I know I'm in the eye. I'm on TV and camera, but I used to think about like, why am I getting in so much trouble for just being a kid? Like, why am I getting in so much trouble for, having fun and partying? It wasn't like, at the time, to me, I'm not making an excuse for, ever. It's not right. It was against the rules. But at the time, what I was thinking mentally was just like, how can I get in trouble for having fun? I go to class every day. I practice every day. I'm one of the best players. Like, I was just thinking the wrong things and thinking the wrong way. And I was thinking selfishly. I wasn't thinking about my team, my coaches, my family, and all the other people who needed me at that time. And
right.
So, yeah, it humbled me because I lost my opportunity to play in college. It humbled me again when I lost my opportunity to play for the Lakers and the NBA. And I just don't want that feeling again. And so that's why I just been working for the past 5 years, man, just grinding it out. Man.
And like, I see it that like the person you are, just talking to you and even seeing you in Vegas that one time, just like I'm like just a blip, I just see you a couple times, but the evolution is there and you see it. But you talked about, the truth, the honesty of the situation you're in. Like, yeah, you're a young man, you're doing your work. Why, you want to party a little bit. That's never talked about. That's never mentioned because I think, there's optics of that. You don't want to come off like you're endorsing it for other players, and you have examples to set and things like that.
You don't want to endorse it,
right?
But it's just facts. It's literally, there's not one college campus in America that hasn't had a party, doesn't party, or kids that don't party. It's just, you want to be. I wasn't in college. I wasn't invested in my team. I was invested in everybody. I was invested in the people in the hallways, the janitors, the maids, the coaching staff, the lunch ladies, the gas station. Like, I was involved with everybody. If I seen you make good conversation, hey, what's up? It's just life. I'm that person. So for me, I wasn't invested in my team. I was invested in, the campus life. I was invested in the fraternities, and I was invested in things that just clearly I was not at UW or Fresno State to do, or at the Lake. I just was invested in things in life. And that's where I had to flip the switches, because I love the game of basketball. It's groomed me and it's put me where I'm at. And I really had to take a step back and, do I really love the game, or am I just like, having, wasting time, wasting people's time and money and wasting the spot. So, yeah, man, just been back on and just been on a straight and narrow since then.
When you talk about loving the game, there's a lot that you probably love about it, but is it for you? Is it the escape? Is it the working on something and seeing the results and getting better? Is it the having success at things? And obviously that's your career, but like, what do you like love about it? And it's gotten you to where you are, Man,
everything. There's so many parts. Like, growing up as a kid, basketball was all I had to deflect, to keep myself away from the streets, to be able to hop the fence and go to the park and just hoop all day and stay away from the neighborhood, stay away from the bad people.
Were you always taller?
Yeah, I've literally been huge all my life. So I was bigger than other kids. I would have to play with the older kids, and so I would have to fit in. And, another thing is that basketball brings me so much joy, to where you can play and be competitive and get better and have a sense of confidence that you get just joy. And, another thing is like having, brothers, basketball companions, people to talk basketball with. It's good to be able to be in the game, be able to compete, be able to talk basketball and have, crazy conversations and tough, just tough love. And it's just there's so many things that, fall under it for me. But I just love the game. I love to be able to compete. I love to dominate. I love the atmosphere. It's just, I love the brotherhood. It's so amazing. It's so amazing what you can do when you come together and you make a plan. Like, I haven't won any major championships, overseas yet, but I've won a championship at semi-pro, and that was minimal compared to what something else can be like. So just having that feeling, man, just it's awesome to be a part of something. People go through their lives never playing sports, never, being introverts and, never being able to do these things. But it's sad because basketball for me, man, it's it, man. I love it.
It looks like fun playing basketball as Robert Upshaw, from like being the big guy who can still hit the three to dominating down low, like looking like you're for real going to rip the backboard down to the things. Like it looks like a blast to do. I know there's a lot of work that goes into it, but like on that day where you get to play the game, and I'm sure even overseas, like interacting with the crowd and getting that, like you're going to get that response from a crowd.
Right.
How is that different overseas from other places you've
Oh
played?
man, overseas is crazy. Like overseas basketball games compared to the ones I've had in the States are like overseas and then in the States. Like the craziest basketball I think game I went to in the States was a Christmas game with the Lakers versus the Heat when I think Bron had just got to the Miami.
Okay.
And that was like a crazy game. But I'm overseas, man. It's like, the court's right here. They play in like these domes, and the court is right here on the floor, and you just got all these people stacked up on top of you, and they're going crazy. They got the flares going, and they got the shirts, and there's no parking for 6-7 blocks, and it's crazy, man. The game, the fan love there too. People will see you and just light your spirit up. They'll just be happy, and it's amazing. It's amazing. And then the fan, like the culture there, man. These teams go back like 100 years. Wow. 60, 70, 80 year history of the clubs, and it's yeah, man, it's good to it's great to be a part of something great. Like it's a great feeling. Like it's a great, you have a great fan base. You have just facility, everything, just great.
How have you learned, I'm sure agents and things play a part. Like, how have you learned where you want to play, what kind of clubs you want to play for? Is it style of play that you're looking for? Is it like, I'm sure some leagues take care of you better than other leagues.
Honestly, it's just about having a job, man. It's just about, playing the highest level of basketball competition you can play and making the most money that you can make before it's all said and done. Some guys are blessed and able to, control where they go and, try to find the fit and the style, and the rest are just you just got to go somewhere and play. You got to make your own mark, in the game of basketball overseas or wherever you are. You have to be your own person. You have to do, because there's only so few little guys that can, well, this style of play. Because, everybody's different. You might go to, Russia and have a Spanish coach, or you might go to, Spain and have a Serbian coach, or some Yugoslavian. It's so many different, and then you might have these players and these players. You just got to go and play. You got to go in and try to get those wins, try to get that money.
How do you take care of your body? Like, is that a big emphasis as a big man? Like, is it lifting weights? Or are you yoga?
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I have become a lot better with taking care of my body. Just because, I always been like, it's kind of always for me been like like stretching. I've always kind of rebelled against it. I've always kind of just like hopped on the court, got ready to go, not taking care of here and there. And once I kind of, hit a few injuries in the past few years, it kind of changed my perspective, because now my body's aching, my knees are aching, this is aching, and not stretching enough, man. So I just incorporated a lot of training, changing my diet, which is something I'm doing now, which is another reason I feel that I didn't succeed this past season is because of my weight, kind of got up in weight. So just making small changes, man, like that, and just going with it, continuing it, and it's following it through.
And then as just a basketball player playing overseas as long as you have, how are you different than what you came as?
I think I've slowed down a lot. I think a lot of the things that I did before was just kind of wild and athletic and flimsy. And I think that now my game is set a lot more that, I'm checking over my shoulders, looking for the double team. I'm making passes out of the post. I'm creating space, sealing in, getting moves. I think that I just slowed down and I've looked at that, paid attention more of the X's and O's of the game and where I could eat, where I can just get my money. So before, I was just kind of out there like just running, man, young legs, just running here, running there, blocking this, dunking that, doing that. But now, it's just I'm learning a lot more, learning a lot more X's and O's. I'm learning about the game. So just keep it going.
Is there like a teammate or a coach that you've had over the last few years that has changed you or that you really like, that you've worked with, that you've learned things from?
You know what? I always, I kind of feel like it's always like I'm mentioning like the guys I'm around or like UW guys or just guys that I've been part of. But there've been like really 3 key people that I've had around me, just as teammates, people I can talk to, and that's Andrew Andrews. You know who that is. Devontae Lacey, and Malik Dime, also another dog. Just people that I've had, man. Andrew was my teammate in Turkey, and also Devontae played in Turkey, so we were able to see each other and be around each other. And Malik was there as well, and played. Also, he was just in Spain with me, so on a different team. But those are my guys, man. Those are guys that I talk to and I confide in, and I always get the 100%, 110% real from them, no matter what the situation is, no matter if I'm right, no matter if I'm wrong. Always giving it to me 100% straight, and it's great to have friends like that, man. Brothers, it's great to have brothers like that, guys who can really just help you, man. Just help you be the best person you can be, and just be true about it. Be sincere, and
You talked a lot about learning from the low moments in life and mistakes and stuff. What about the high moments, like the good parts of your life? What are you learning now? I don't know if it's like being stable, like successfully stable and like in a good place like that, or is there anything specific that comes to mind?
Like when I like achieve some things, when I achieve goals or when I achieve my accomplishments and things, I just being at the top and having that feeling, it's almost like a sigh of like relief, because it's just like, it's not like a sigh of relief. It's just like a sigh, kind of like it's a sad sigh, because it's just like, I've been working on this and I've had these opportunities before, I could have done it before and I messed it up. And it's just like, when I finally get there after the 5th, 6th, 7th try, and, after all this hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, it's just like, man, like that's over with. Like I made it harder than it was supposed to, but I got it. Like I know I'm capable. Okay, on to the next thing.
That's I relate to that a lot. It's the success is just like, all right, I did it. But if I fail, then it's, you feel that and that resonates with you. How have you learned to, not like embrace your accomplishments, and like have confidence through that without it going the other way?
To just keep rooting myself up, keep accomplishing goals, and keep myself pushing forward, and have this sense about me that I can do it, but also humble myself and remember that I can do it and it can be accomplished, but, I can't fall off the wagon. I can't, achieve something great and then just go throw it away like I've been known to do before. I have to humble myself. I have to keep everything at a low, keep everything down here.
Part of me, the basketball is one thing, talking about the basketball overseas, but the experiences outside of that and like the culture you've seen, the food you've probably eaten, things like that. If you had to pick like your favorite place just to live overall outside of the United States, like your best living experience, the best environment, culture, where are you going with?
My best living experience would have to be in Lebanon. I lived on the beach, like my chalet, as they would like to say, was right on the beach. I can walk right out to the Mediterranean water, and it was so nice. It was so clear. It was just a really nice situation, man. And also the food there, the Lebanese food, it was really, really, really good. And it was probably the one country that I went to where I actually went to the local places to order, like to get the local food and to, I would ask my teammates, the local teammates, where's a good spot to go to? Where can I get the bread? Where can I get the meats and the vegetables and the fruits and stuff. And fruit, like, that's another thing, fruit, it's weird. Fruit tastes different overseas. It's like, it's not like processed or like has any additives or anything. It's just like fresh, like right off the tree, right here in somebody's basket in the neighborhood, in the village. So yeah, I think I would have to say Lebanon.
I've even heard that about, eggs and things like that you store eggs differently, butter, like little things like that are different. Was there like an experience you had where you're like, man, I'm an American. Okay, I got to do this. Like and not an embarrassing experience, but.
I think the best experience that I could say I had overseas was I got to go to Cappadocia in Turkey. It's actually the biggest like launching site of hot air balloons, and it's also dates back to like the Roman times of trade. It was one of the biggest trade, I don't know the word, trading routes, locations where people would meet up, and it's all kind of fairy caves and a lot of history. So I was able to go there, man. That was dope. If you could see it, if you could be a part of it, you would be in awe.
Man, that's so cool for basketball to take you there. It reminds me of Sammy Dowd. The basketball can take you a lot of different places and places you wouldn't expect necessarily. We talked about it a little bit in the beginning, the way COVID has affected things for you. Just what was it like experiencing COVID overseas? Were you over there in March, I imagine, when that stuff started to break out?
When COVID started, it wasn't really, it didn't really start hitting until we took the flight back home because countries were shutting down, and we were luckily on like one of the last flights out of Europe that before it closed down. So once we got back to the States, we had the face mask and everything and had this quarantine. But being in Spain for about two and a half months, it was serious, man. They had places locked down. They had police officers. Restaurants had to shut down. Most restaurants that weren't like essential had to shut down. What else? Like most places closed by like 9 o'clock instead of like 12 or 1. You just had to wear a mask at all times, everywhere, sanitize everywhere, and pretty much just limit travel. Like literally just go from the house to the gym to the grocery store. That's it.
And has it made you think about life after basketball at all? Like when you have something like this taken away from you, it makes you think about the next steps and what you want to do, or everyone, I
Yeah.
guess, kind of has to think about that nowadays.
And during this point in this time, like it made me feel like, like what is my life going to be after? Like it made me feel that way. Like I'm thinking, like, what is my life going to be after basketball? And I'm just like, going to the store, then going home and just sitting there watching TV all day, bored, like nothing to do. And
Back when you were a kid, kind of bored.
Yeah. So it's just, it's only temporary, man. That feeling, feeling like, it's boring. It's only temporary, I know that like, after basketball is done or when basketball is finished, that like life will be amazing.
Just as we finish up a few questions, talk about on the court and off the court. Off the court, what are you most proud of over the last 6 years?
What am I the most proud of the past 6 years? I'm just proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself because through this journey, I've surprised myself. A lot of what I went through in college and in the pros a little bit. I didn't think like I was worth anything. I didn't think that I'd ever be where I'm at today. Like when I signed in Spain, like I literally shed tears of joy and like I was so happy because I'd never thought I'd ever play basketball overseas ever. Like I never thought I would never thought I'd play basketball again. I had messed up 3 times, 2 in college, 2 colleges and a pro team. And I'm just like, I got it in me. I just got to tone the other stuff down. I got to tone the vibrant me down. I got to tone the carefree. I got to tone the rebel down. And so once in doing that, I've had so much success. I've had so much happiness, and not to say that it's been all, sprinkles and glitter and happiness. It's literally been a fight, a race, like literally just uphill battle. But I just keep fighting. I keep going, and I've had nothing but success. I've played high level basketball in some of the top leagues in some of the best countries in the world, and I'm still going today. So I thank a lot of people who have helped me in this pursuit of in life of basketball in life, and I'm blessed, man. That's all I can say. I'm really blessed. I'm happy to be here. I'm grateful.
And you talked about like worth and self-worth, you mentioning, and it's almost like you found that. I don't know if making those mistakes and having your business in the press and all of that like chips away at that, or if a lot of your self-worth was rooted in basketball, and then having the possibility of that not be your future, that probably has to chip away at your self-worth.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm going to say this real quick. The worst thing about having your news in the freaking press is they never have the story. They never have anything correct. A lot of like, this is what social media is, and we all know, obviously, but they never have the facts straight, man. That was another embarrassing thing. I think that was the most embarrassing thing that I had to go through, because when you go through problems, through the department and through teams, and you can't really make it public. It can't be really something put out there unless it's put out by a legal team or somebody who has the ability to put it out. Well, when you have all these media and outlet sources that you could be suspended a game for profanity in the locker room, and it's like, oh well, he got suspended because he's on drugs. Oh, he got suspended because he got into a physical altercation. Well, he got suspended because I heard he punched one of the players. And then it just spirals out of control. And it's just like everybody's coming to you with different stories. Everybody's coming to you with a different perspective on how you were wrong or how you were right, or you need to change your life. And if it was them, they would do better. And if they had the height and just all these things, it's just like, no. like, just no. Like it's like the media destroys people like me. And I made mistakes. I done them. I repeated them. I am at fault. I'm not saying I'm not wrong. I'm 100% wrong. And I'm going to stand by that. And I just think that the media is just the devil, man. Like it's just hurtful. Like it's so many things that's out there that's been said about me that's just like it's not even part of it. But you just got to go on with life, man. You got to block those things out.
Right. And unfortunately, I'm 100% with you. Being a part of the media, like that stuff frustrates me. They glamorize stuff like that. Whatever will get them clicks or things like that. And then, it's frustrating. But to me, it seems like you found your self-worth outside of basketball. Like you're proud of the person you are. Yes, you've made great basketball things happen, but through all this journey, like you've seen the worst, you've made the mistakes, and you've come back from them. And to me, that's like that's the journey. That might not be what news sites sell. It's not a quick, easy headline, but man, that's real. That's real life. And like, look at you now. You're a different person, and it's cool to see.
Appreciate it, man.
Man, it's very cool. As we wrap up, where's the best basketball been for you over your career? Like, where were you the best player?
Where I felt myself at and where I had the most basketball freedom was when I was in China, and I went there for a tour, which ended up turning into a job offer for a few weeks. A few weeks. I just felt myself, man. I went out there on a tour with a bunch of other collegiate players, a bunch of other semi-pro players, professional players, and just competed against some of the top players, top teams in China, and I just had a ball, man. I had fun, and it was a really great experience.
Man, and it's been a long journey, but as we wrap up, is there anything overall you'd like to say to the people listening, whether it's the people that knew you from UW or from California or from China, or just to your people that's followed the journey, that love you?
Man, there's just prayers to everybody and their families through this time, through this tough time in the world, in general, just in life. Just to take care of yourselves, take care of your families, be the best person you can be, give back, and just be happy. Just be happy, man. Give people happiness. Be happy. Give people happiness. Shed light in the world. And yeah, man. Just I appreciate everybody who prays for me and thinks about me and checks to see if I'm okay and checks on me. So, yeah, man. That's it.
There it is. It's Robert Upshaw in his own words, and man, the honesty is amazing. I think it helps people because it's real. When you're alone and you're listening to this, like you're being honest with your thoughts, the people that are listening. So to hear the real, it's going to help people. And you got a great story to tell. You're in a great place. I can't wait to see what's next. And I just appreciate your time, man. I can't wait till episode 3 with Robert Upshaw.
Good show, man. It was good to talk to you, Jeremy. Best wishes to you, man, and the podcast. I see you doing big things, man, and I hope that we get up soon, this summer, and be able to chalk it up some more and talk basketball.
Man, I look forward to it. Robert Upshaw on the Jeremy Mills Podcast.